Welcome back, you guys. This is your stimulus package update. This is your second stimulus check update for Friday, July the 10th. So let's get into your stimulus updates today. So in this video, we're going to cover the breaking news that was just released out of Washington regarding when we should see the second round of stimulus checks and some of the hurdles that stand in between us accomplishing that task. I've got a lot of stuff to cover today, but before we get into it, I just want to say welcome back to all my subscribers. And for those of you guys who are brand new to the channel, we cover all things personal finance, investing, how to make more money, and how to generate multiple streams of income. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into it. Now, since the House of Representatives passed the HEROES Act back in May, the ball has been in the Senate's court, and they've basically not made a decision on whether or not they're going to approve or outright reject the HEROES Act. But recent news has come out of Washington stating that the Senate Republicans might be considering a stimulus package that's around $1.3 trillion, which is only about like 1/3 the size of the original HEROES Act. That's almost $2 trillion away from where the Democrats want to be. A big concern right now is that because these parties are so far apart in terms of budget allocations, the big question is whether or not we'll ever see an agreement between these two groups. Now, the truth of the matter is that until both of these parties can agree, no one's going to see any stimulus checks anytime soon. But the good news is that on Thursday, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that the White House supports another round of economic impact payments. In most cases, funds would be issued through direct deposits, not paper checks, and Mnuchin said that the Department of Treasury has the ability to get that into hardworking Americans' bank accounts very, very quickly. According to Steve Mnuchin, he said, "I had a very productive call with Mitch MCConnell, and as soon as the Senate gets back, we're going to sit down on a bipartisan basis." He also said, "And it will be our priority to make sure between the 20th and the end of the month that we pass the next legislation." Once Congress returns from recess on July 20th, legislators will have 2 weeks to come to an agreement on the next stimulus package. The House of Representatives leaves for their summer recess on August 3rd, but Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said that meeting the deadline for a stimulus bill is completely doable. So that to me sounds like we'll be seeing our second stimulus check in July. Now, according to recent statements from the Senate, the second round of stimulus checks is going to be much more targeted to the American people that were hit hardest during the pandemic. And this primarily includes people who earned an income of $40,000 or less per year. In addition to this income cap, the tourism and hospitality industries have been significantly impacted by the destruction caused by the pandemic. Senior economic advisor Larry Kudlow also speculated that payments would be confined to those who are struggling the most financially. Mnuchin wouldn't give the exact details on what qualifications the White House was looking at in terms of stimulus checks, but he did say that the administration will discuss the level and criteria with the Senate. So it's pretty clear that Congress is primarily focusing on getting financial aid and support to these segments of the economy. It does make sense that Congress would focus on these industries as well as the lower income range, as many jobs in the restaurant and tourism sectors are within this income cap. Not to mention many people who are on fixed income sources such as Social Security, SSI, and SSDI. I mean, I definitely believe that these people have been impacted to a great extent and need additional assistance. At the same time, I think that we can all agree that the devastation caused by the pandemic is not limited to individuals who were below $40,000 per year. I mean, let's not pretend that if you earn more than $40,000 per year, you were just fine. That's just not true. No matter what, just about everyone has been suffering during this entire mess. Now, Nancy Pelosi believes that we can reach a deal by the end of the month, as well as Steve Mnuchin. Mnuchin also confirmed that stimulus checks could go out very quickly once the decision has been reached, but there's a few hurdles that the House and the Senate have to overcome in order to make this stimulus package happen for everyone. So the first hurdle I see is that the Democrats are pushing for a $3 trillion stimulus package, and they want to see a second round of stimulus checks of $1,200 for each individual and up to $1,200 for each dependent, up to 3 dependents. The Democrats will also like to increase the number of people eligible to receive stimulus checks to include high school and college students. Now, on the other hand, the Republicans want to reduce the size of the stimulus package down to $1 trillion and also reduce the number of people eligible to receive the second round of stimulus checks. The Republicans also want to limit the second round of stimulus checks to Americans who earn $40,000 per year or less. President Trump, on the other hand, said that he wants a second round of stimulus checks for the people, but he also wants them to be bigger than what the Democrats have requested. Plus, he wants to see a stimulus package that was at least $2 trillion. Since these are negotiations, I could see a $2 trillion deal happening, which would allow the Republicans and the Democrats to meet right in the middle. Now, another big issue is that the Democrats want to extend the $600 per week unemployment benefits until January 2021. But the Republicans want to end the $600 unemployment benefits because they're pretty much convinced that it's disincentivizing people from wanting to go back to work, because there are some people who are actually earning more money from the unemployment benefits than they would be able to earn from their normal jobs. I know this is not true for everyone, but this is just what they're saying. And then you have liability protection. I mean, personally, I don't see this as a huge hurdle, but it's something that should be discussed. The Democrats and Republicans don't see eye to eye on this one. So, for example, the Republicans, they've repeatedly stated that businesses will need liability protection from pandemic-related lawsuits, and that the Republicans want to include hospitals and schools under this umbrella of protection. I'm not seeing a whole lot of pushback from the Democrats on this issue, but it's clearly not a priority for them. Another hurdle is regarding the schools being able to reopen. Now, the Democrats want $1 trillion allocated for state and local aid, including $430 billion to be able to reopen schools properly. Now, the Republicans want only $30 billion allocated to reopen schools. So we're seeing about a $400 billion gap between these two parties. And then you have the back to work bonuses that the Republicans want to implement to incentivize people to go back to work. But the Democrats, they don't really want the back to work bonus. They would rather extend the unemployment benefits instead. So these are pretty much the top hurdles that I'm seeing that could create some challenges that the Democrats and Republicans have to kind of overcome or iron out. But as previously stated, Nancy Pelosi is confident that they can come to some agreement before August 3rd recess, which could mean that we could see a second round of stimulus checks go out by the end of July. Now, of course, we'll have to wait and see how this pans out, but I'll certainly keep you guys updated on all the latest stimulus check updates as well as stimulus package updates. Well, that's all for this video, guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching till the end. And if you found any value in this video, please give this video a like. It lets me know that this information was helpful to you guys. I'll be keeping you guys updated on all the latest in financial news, tips on how to grow your income, and providing investment strategies. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.